call Senate hearings to investigate the group. Now lawmakers are speaking out. Iowa Congressman Steve King is among them, and he joins me now from the great state of Iowa. How are you, sir?
I am doing fine. Thanks for having me on today.
Well, let me read what Harry Reid said. He said on Tuesday that he would not ask Senate committee chairman or Congress to do, quote, do anything that would distract from the efforts to address health care, climate change, and overhaul the nation's financial regulatory system. Basically saying we're too busy to look at ACORN. What say you, sir?
I would say that any excuse will do if you're feeling the pressure of public scrutiny on a corrupt organization, a criminal enterprise like ACORN that has tentacles all across this country in 120 cities. And we should not accept such an excuse from Harry Reid or anyone else. This Congress has a responsibility for oversight, and I can think of no issue that compelled us so much as this issue with ACORN to step forward in the House and the Senate, the committee chairs in multiple committees to commit resources to investigations, congressional hearings, call upon the Department of Justice to launch a complete investigation of ACORN and all of their affiliates, along with the IRS, to chase all the money down. A
lot of Democrats have dropped ACORN like a bad habit. Why do you think Harry Reid is not willing to be among them?
I don't know that I can speculate on that. I can speculate, but I don't know if I have any inside knowledge. But ACORN itself as an entity is under indictment in Nevada. Harry should know pretty well about what's going on there. I was amazed that only 75 Democrats decided to vote in the House to defend ACORN and protect the federal funding that's going to ACORN. But that tells me there's more beneath the surface than I suspect, and I've been looking at ACORN for 4 to 5 years.
What is your greatest concern? I mean, these tapes are pretty spectacular and dramatic and make for good television, but is there a larger concern here?
I have a couple of big, large concerns. One of them is that ACORN themselves have become such an enterprise. They're an economy within themselves. And to trace all that money, I actually don't know if we have the manpower to be able to do that. That concerns me greatly, that they can scrub money and transfer wealth between corporations and do so in-house and with similar bank accounts and commingling funds. But worse than that, the very underpinnings for our Constitution is having integrity in our electoral system. And if the American public loses faith, then our Constitution itself collapses because of lack of credibility on the election process. ACORN has corrupted our election process systematically across this country. They bragged about 1.3 million voter registrations that they turned in. They admitted to over 400,000 of them being false or fraudulent, and yet they contend that it didn't result in fraudulent votes. That's the worst of it all. But the economic connections, and by the way, ACORN's involvement in shakedown of lenders that precipitated the mortgage crisis that we have in this country is something that's been completely unexamined and something we have to look at in the United States Congress as well.
Congressman Steve King, a Republican from Iowa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Brian.
Of course, there is a lawsuit pending in the ACORN investigation, and the man at